Oh, 1, 2, 3, check.
1, 2, 3.
First down, Rams.
Oh yeah, first down.
Man, we really got to come up with an intro.
We do.
That's cool. But welcome everyone to First Down Rams. I am Pale Down with the Rams Radar, and I am joined by none other than Rams House of his own YouTube channel. Rams House, what's up?
What's up? How you doing, Peo?
Dude, I'm so stoked. Do you remember when the Rams destroyed the Saints?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that was a fun time.
Yeah, good times. I know, we should probably talk in depth about that, right? Because that's what everyone, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Rams did what they needed to do. They went in there, they beat a bad team, put up 30+ points, like we wanted to see. Built off what they did against the Jaguars. You really can't complain if you're a Rams fan. Nope. I think our eyes are kind of set on this week versus the 49ers. That's going to be a big one.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about everything we need to about the Rams and the Saints.
Yeah. Hey, it was a fun game. I enjoyed it. That stress-free Rams football is the best kind of football.
We have, as Ram fans, we have not been blessed with too many of those games, but here we are back-to-back kind of, okay, you get to the third quarter and you're just, you're relaxed and you're loose, right?
Yeah. Love to see it. You love to see it.
Yeah, I'd be okay seeing it again on Sunday.
Honestly, in Levi Stadium too. That would be pretty fun. A little precursor to the Super Bowl, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Anyway, thank you everyone who's tuning in live with us now or watching on the replay. We appreciate you. This is the show that's on Wednesdays where we talk about the Los Angeles Rams. We'll have over Rams action later. Oh, yeah. We'll have what's more likely, but it's just the Rams edition. And of course, we're going to start the show off with previewing the Rams 49ers. But before we do any of that, Rams House, we gotta welcome the chat.
Oh yeah.
We got Mobdi.
I think I remember. Yes. I think I remember Muad'Dib. Let me know if I'm wrong, Muad'Dib. I think that's your name. I think I may have it down.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I legit practiced on Sunday, and it is Muad'Dib. Yeah.
I think we're getting it.
We are. Yeah. Sonic Boom. Let's good to see you as always, my friend. We got Cringeosaurus. He's saying I hate that team in North Cali.
I think all Rams fans do.
Yeah.
We're like Aaron Donald, who just hates the Niners. I don't see anything wrong with it, to be honest.
No. It's in sports, it's okay to have fun rivalries like that, right?
Yeah.
We got Cue the Fade. The game is the first Rams playoff game, believe it or not. This game determines whether or not the Rams deserve to be back a second time. We got Sinjin in the house. Good to see you. We got one of our friendly 49ers fans, Steve-O here.
What's up, Steve-O?
Cool picture. We got Tony in the house. First down, Rams. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go. And Mr. Doinks 11. I love that. I love usernames like that.
I do too.
Yeah,
they're fun.
They are fun. Well, Rams says let's dive right into it. Rams playing a little team, you might have heard of them, called the San Francisco 49ers. Who the Rams had a overtime game not too long ago. It's weird. It seems like it was forever ago, but at the same time, it was just yesterday. That's how NFL time works, I guess. What are your thoughts going into this second matchup with the division arch rival, the San Francisco 49ers?
I'm excited. I personally, as a Rams fan, want to see us get some revenge and kind of right our wrongs that we had. Rams have been playing much better as of recently, to the caliber that they should be, even with Puka being hurt and all that's been going on there. So excited to see how they can kind of rectify their performance against the 49ers last game. I think no matter who's playing for the 49ers at quarterback, at wide receiver, whatever, no matter what the injury situation is, typically these games are going to be close and stressful. So I feel like I'm anticipating the game during the week. And then as it gets to Sunday, I really start feeling stressful because that's when the game kicks off. And you got a lot of times these close matchups between Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan. So excited to see how the Rams can respond, especially given how much better they've been playing recently.
Yeah.
I personally wish the 49ers were like full strength and fully healthy,
Yeah.
just to see like good on good. But even with all the injuries that they've had, I still expect a competitive game, and one that we're definitely going to be stressing through more than we did in the Saints and Jaguars game.
Yeah. And, I think it's important to recognize that though that game was that like week 3? That game was it 4?
Honestly, week
Yeah,
3 or week 4.
It was week 4. Yeah, because Colts was week 3. Yeah. Um, yeah, because we played the Colts, then it was the short week for the 49ers.
Yeah, that's right.
I think like if both the 49ers and the Rams, two completely different teams right now, just maybe personnel similar, but there's a lot of change in just how they're playing. The 49ers definitely are the more injured team. And I don't think there's anything wrong with giving the 49ers a little bit of credit, the littlest amount. The littlest
as small as
amount.
You can go.
They are finding ways to win games despite a plethora of key injuries, and that is impressive. But that's the only little amount of credit you're getting on this show. I still fully expect this game to come down to the wire. It might be another overtime game. It really might.
Yeah.
I would love the Rams to to go into Levi Stadium and put on a dominant performance. But I just think these division games, that's kind of the way it's gonna fly around. I'll be up front though. I do like the Rams' chances in this game. I think they're playing really good football right now. Yeah. And before I throw it back to you, I think it's important to recognize the importance of this game. The 49ers have already beaten everyone in the NFC West at least once. They have though they have one more loss than the Rams do right now, they hold a massive advantage in that tiebreaker. This game makes the path to winning the NFC West for the Rams substantially more in their favor if they win. If they lose, they need help, right?
Yeah.
They can't just handle their own business against the Cardinals and the Seahawks. And that to me, that just puts so much pressure on this game. I also think this game, not only for the Rams and 49ers, has big implication and the NFC West, also the NFC.
Yes.
So if either the 49ers or the Rams don't win the division and they're in the wild card race, this game will have implications end of season. And it's a big game, right? This is not playing the Saints. This is not playing the Jags. This is a game that has huge playoff implications for the 2025 Rams. I know you and I are big fans of this Rams team. We want to see them go far, but it is, yes, as Rams Mob is saying, can't be stressed enough, must win. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I'm definitely with you with it being a must win, especially given the fact we already dropped one at home earlier in the year. The NFC West is crazy competitive. I would definitely say it's the best division in football right now. Yep. So getting division wins is important. It's also important to note that the Rams, to this point, have only beaten one NFC team, which was the Saints last week. So also adding NFC wins on top of a divisional win is huge. And the 49ers, as banged up as they have been, like you said, they've been playing well. They've been winning games. It's been pretty impressive, quite frankly. But I also look at the schedule that the 49ers have the rest of the year. And their schedule coming into this year is one of the easier ones in the entire league. Yep. So it was already important to have to win those head-to-head matchups because you can't count on other teams to beat them simply because the competition just isn't really up to par with how good they are. So on top of that, yeah, this game, incredibly important. Rams already dropping one. Definitely adds a little bit more stress to this game of hoping the Rams can pull it out because you got them. And of course, you got the Seahawks who are balling out too. So getting that win is definitely going to be important.
And I live for that stress as a sports fan, right?
Yeah.
Like the last thing you want is to go against a division rival and just be like, maybe if we win or lose, like we care about our draft pick. No. The Rams are not there, right? No. This is a game we want to win. We want to win big. And yeah, I fully expect it to be a close game. And I know a lot of Ram fans are we've been sitting pretty with these past two blowout wins over the Saints and the Jags, but we got to grab your heart medication, your defibrillator, get it ready right beside you for Sunday.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be interested to see just how different this game is, because even just like when you look at the offensive side of the ball alone, the Rams have gotten so much better, and like not necessarily like personnel wise, like they've always had this talent and this coaching, but it was about putting it together, and the Rams are beginning to do that. But this is going to be your first test of doing it against a better team. Now, I will say, like the Rams, all the way back in week 3, week 4, when we played the 49ers, we still moved the ball really well against the 49ers and passed the ball really well. I think Stafford had over 300 yards passing. They were moving it well. It was just a lot of things like the 2 fumbles in that game. You had Blake Corum fumble one, Kyron fumble one. You had drops that led to missed field goals, like all the kinds of miscues where it's like now those are cleaned up. And now I'm sure you've heard about like all the 13 personnel that the Rams are running. They're not just like 11 personnel. So they're getting other tight ends involved, getting different like mismatch opportunities. So this team, while it is like very similar and the personnel is basically the same as it was before, I think they're putting things together and clicking better. And I even saw Muad'Dib say this in the comments earlier. Like last time we played the 49ers, 9 and 17 weren't on the same page. But now heading into this week, we've seen that connection really blossom, and there's few miscues like there were back in that. So you're going to be watching that closely too.
Absolutely. And I see this comment here by Cringesaurus is Stafford ain't talked about enough in the MVP conversation despite playing better than QBs like Mahomes and Allen. You know what, Cringesaurus, I don't disagree with you, but I have noticed this week, specifically the past like 2 days, it's picking up.
I was going to say that too. Like, did you see that Belichick was talking about him too?
Yeah.
Bill Belichick was talking about Stafford and what he's doing. And like, if you're getting him talking about, I will say like, it feels like Stafford has a smaller margin for error in his performances to stay in MVP conversations than like a Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, because Mahomes just played like one of his worst games against the Bills last week. But if he has a good game next week, he's like right back in it. To whereas if Stafford has that, I think that would sting for him 3 or 4 more weeks longer. So I'm definitely noticing they're talking about it more, and he's getting a lot of recognition. But it feels like if he has one bad game or one bad play, whatever, like there's a higher likelihood that people are going to be like, oh, I don't know, Stafford, the age, the back injury. And so like.
Well, and really the only Stafford, like the Stafford haters out there, criticism that I heard is I heard one person be like, yeah, Stafford's having a good year, but like he's got a really good like team around him, right? Like that argument comes up, which is like that's just the stupidest reason to not give him an MVP vote.
Yeah, because I mean, like he's still like if you watch Matthew Stafford, you're seeing the crazy different kinds of throws that he's putting out there, the no looks, the looking off defender. Like you have incredible roster talent, and I'm not denying that. And you have a great coach in Sean McVay. But I would say he's still maximizing it more than if you had a different quarterback back there. And he's doing things like even last week, I'm thinking back to like obviously you had the no look to Devontae on the dig route against the Saints. That was like 20 yards, which is incredible. But even plays like him escaping a sack that was right in front of him, like shimmying past it, doing a no look pass to his screen, and turning that into 0 yards compared to taking a sack. Like there's a lot of nuanced things he's doing that people don't really think about when they look at the roster and all the talent around him. So I'm just glad, like you said, I have noticed this week, like more people are talking about him in that conversation. I still have to see it to believe it that he's going to win the MVP. I think he's deserving of it if he keeps playing like this, but I just am like, I need to see the voters actually give him his credit before I'm like, yeah, he's definitely going to win it.
Yeah, he was even blocking.
Exactly. He can do it all.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite Stafford plays of this season so far.
It cracked me up to see like he really wanted to do it. He had all the willpower to do it, and then he like backs off last second. He's like, "Oh, I don't want to do that."
Oh man, I see Grandizer here preparing for 20 questions that we should have asked on the bye week.
Wow,
good to see you, Grandizer. Whose house? It's always a legit question. Rams house.
It is Rams house. Yeah, we'll be playing at Levi Stadium, so we won't have the red taking over SoFi because it's going to be at their place. So,
anyone who's watching live with us again, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys tuning on in, and feel free drop your score predictions in the chat. We would love. It's always fun, kind of gauging what the vibe of this game is. I am of the mindset is I actually think this will be a lower scoring game.
Really?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a defensive struggle. I think it's going to be like a 20-17 type of game, and that makes me nervous because we're going to talk about it.
No,
the Rams kicking game. Okay, you know what? While people are getting their score predictions in here, let's peel this Band-Aid off. Elephant in the room. All the cliches. The Rams kicking game has been really bad. And like it's to the point now where we are signing a new long snapper and a new kicker, and even like, did you hear McVay's press conference today? Yeah. So like the new kicker is gonna compete with Joshua Karty. Not ideal when your team is hoping to compete for a Super Bowl, but here we are going into week 10, and the Rams are having a long snapper and kicker competition. How do you feel about that?
You know, I think it's also another like stereotype and cringy thing to say, but like competition does like breed excellence and like great play. So whoever's fault it is on, McVay has said multiple times it's not just one person, and there's a lot of different issues on each kick. I'm just glad that there's competition to have a little bit of pressure on the group as a whole and on like Chase Blackburn, just to get things better rather than it being like everybody's job is completely secure. They can keep messing up, because this does need to be addressed. And if you have close games, like we saw earlier in the year, this costs you games. So happy to see the competition. Really happy to see Jake McQuaide back. Like, just for the vibe, like, who's a guy who's been on the Rams for so long, to see him come back. That's cool. He's a true veteran. You know what you're getting out of him. The kicker that we got, I love just the way he looks. It's just hilarious to me. To me, I'm one of the people that think that Josh Karty isn't really completely to blame on this. And he played incredibly well last year. I think there have been times that it's been his fault, but I just think he needs consistency and we need good protection. But regardless of what I think, there's competition in the building, and I think that's going to bring the best out of this unit rather than just having your same thing rolled out every week. And that's kind of where I stand.
Yeah, I agree. I think I do. It's this weird thing where, like, if the Rams didn't do anything, I'd be like, oh no, we're just trusting it gets better.
Yeah.
That's kind of been the approach they've been taking all season long, and it's not getting any better. Like, I still am super nervous them lining up for an extra point.
And we shouldn't be.
Right. And then at the same time, when they brought in Jake McQuaide and I'm forgetting the new kicker's name. I forget it.
Mevis?
Yeah. Like I get nervous. It's like, okay, here we are, week 10, having a kicking competition. But like, it's sort of things like, man, I just wish we weren't talking about the Rams kick field goal unit, but here we are on a Wednesday Rams fan show, and we have to be nervous if the Rams can kick a game-winning field goal from like the 40.
Yeah, I guess I'm glad that it's not week 17 and we're like, I guess let's bring in some new guys and see what happens. Like, that would be terrible, but I do like the approach of like, it's midseason, like let's bring in competition. Again, I still think Karty is a really good kicker, and I don't think it's on him, but I think it's always gonna benefit you to have good positive competition. And we saw that on the Rams roster even in this training camp as of recently. And even a guy like, going back to Joe Noteboom, who started at left tackle for the Rams, AJ Jackson, this undrafted guy, came in, brought great competition, made them both better, and he won the job. And that's kind of what I like about the Rams is I don't think they're a team that would let draft position, like where they drafted Karty, get in the way of who should be the starting kicker. I still think Karty's going to win the job or like keep the job. But like, what's the worst that can happen by bringing in competition?
Thiccer the Kicker.
You have to, for your watch parties, you have to get a graphic for him if he ends up being the starter.
If I'm not sure I'm going to have time to make one, but I would love to. Yeah.
I was going to say, I have a conspiracy theory. What if the Rams brought in this thick kicker just to be an offensive line and protect on the end?
I love it.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be so funny. It's like, yeah, the blocking's not the issue. That's why we brought in an extra kicker.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be hilarious.
That would be funny. Well, anyway, regardless, I am curious to if this game does come down to a field goal kick, do you think there's any chance McVay doesn't even risk it and he's just like, no, like, I don't trust my kicker right now. I don't trust my kicking unit. Like, do you think there's any concern about like kind of the sports psychology angle of it all?
I think it depends on the situation in the game. Like that honestly dictates a lot of things because I've seen Rams fans. Do you remember in the Ravens game when we went for it? I think we were like probably 10 or 15 yards out. And we were up by a lot of points and we went for it rather than just kicking like a 20-yard field goal. And we went for it, we didn't get it. And people were saying like, oh, the Rams don't trust their kicker. But McVay said like later on, like they just felt the flow of the game. Defense is playing well. Why not put up another touchdown and really put them away? So for me, it kind of depends on that. I hope we don't get to a spot where it's like we got to go for it every time. But I really do think it just depends like situationally of it.
Yeah, and even in this comment section here, as I read through, these we're hearing different perspectives. Some people think it's more on Karty. Some think it's Karty's not necessarily blameless, but he's not all the issues here. And we as fans, we can speculate. We can have a lot of fun talking about it, like we are. But at the end of the day, I just would love if we didn't have to talk about the field goal unit. Right? Like if next Wednesday we were like, you know what? They made all the field goals. Great job. And that's like the last we talk about them all season long. Like that's a huge success, right?
Yeah, which is kind of sad. But like you brought up a good point in your video when you're talking about the McQuaide signing when you said, I'm not asking for the Rams to go out here and kick 60 or 70-yard field goals and break records. But like we're not even seeing like 50-yard field goals being made, and much less we're not even seeing extra points and 20-yard field goals being made. And when you get into the playoffs and even in these divisional games that we're going to have coming up with the 49ers and the Seahawks, like these are going to be closer games and they could be decided by a field goal. Or what if you have a perfect drive to set up a game-winning field goal and it gets blocked or you miss it? Like that can legitimately end your season. So it needs to be addressed. And I think we're, as Rams fans, we're just wanting to see like improvements each week, see things getting better. And we haven't really seen that through all these weeks. So,
well, and that was my point in that video of like, in a year where everyone's talking about like, oh man, like kickers are just draining it with the new kicking balls and everything. Like, and you see Cam Little breaking the record. And we're like, we get nervous for an extra point. Like,
this is totally normal, right?
Yeah, like it's not crazy to think that the Rams have the worst kicking game in the NFL right now. Like, that's unfortunate, but it's kind of it's real.
I would be curious to see why, because again, we know that it's a different reason each time that they've missed. It's not been the same core reason.
Yeah,
but I'd be curious to see exactly what changed and what teams may have figured out to stop this, because like we've seen so many different conspiracies of like what's going wrong. But when you go back to last year, the Rams had the exact same kicking unit and they were like on fire, especially in the back half of the season.
Yeah.
And so you haven't really changed personnel unless you're talking about like a tight end maybe, or like an offensive lineman a little bit. But like, I'm just so curious to be like, what's the reason? Because we really haven't changed it since last year. And kicking is like a fickle thing. You can get in weird streaks and all that. But like, I would really be curious to see what's going on.
Well, and like, I do think like it's bad now because it's like immediate and we're still in this thing. But like, if you remember back in 2023, that was brutal.
That was terrible.
That, like, I think that was worse, right? Like the kicker carousel year, like that was I don't want to go back to that again. And that's, to be honest, the only reason I'm nervous about bringing in a new kicker is like, should the Rams have stayed the course, right? But obviously they ended up re-signing Brett Maher later on, which again, it was just awkward. It was weird.
Yeah. I don't know. I see Jake McQuaide being more of a guy like to maybe replace Alex Ward and what we had there for some reason, I just can't get behind that the Rams are actually changing kickers. I see this more as like providing urgency to the group and giving a guy an opportunity who has done well, not in the NFL, but has done well, and just see what happens. Like, I just have a hard time seeing Karty being cut or released or whatever, especially with how good he was. And McVay's talked about like he wants to stand by Karty and he still believes in him. And that could be coach speak. I don't know, but I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, we'll see. I guess if Karty doesn't dress for next week, I'm really curious. Like what happens with like the knuckleball, kickoff and stuff like that.
Well,
right?
The weird thing about the knuckleball is that we haven't seen it the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
like what happened to somebody brought it up in my comments. They said that Ethan Evans was doing the kickoffs all of last game against the Saints, and I didn't catch that. But I did catch that the Rams stopped doing knuckleballs, and that was a legitimate weapon on kickoffs.
Yeah.
And so, are they like concerned that that's actually affecting the kicks and the trajectory of the kicks, like McVay was talking about, or like what would the reason be behind that?
I think it might come down to how much tape do you want to give your next opponent, sort of thing. And if you don't feel the need to use it against like the Saints, maybe it's something you're saving, right? Because like your opponent's going to watch your most recent game film, right? So maybe there's something to that.
Yeah, I'd be curious because everybody talks about how the Eagles were the ones that kind of started these kicking issues, but it was actually the week before against the Titans when we saw a blocked kick, and people don't really remember that as much because the Rams won by like 14 plus points in that game, but that's where we first saw it come up. And so whatever the Titans uncovered and discovered has continued to come up, but it's also not just been the blocking. Like it's not been just blocked kicks. We've also had missed kicks, and even some of the kicks that we've made have been like close calls where the guy off the edge almost touches the ball. And it's like, oh man, I'm glad that we got that off in time because it was like this close.
Well, and in defense of Joshua Karty, some of the replays you can see he has to adjust his kick because of a failed block.
Yes.
And like you can see him like, and he still gets the kick off, but like his one last week that went wide right, like I don't put that one on Karty at all.
Yeah, there's a guy right there. So he's just trying to. Yeah. I was kind of impressed that he got it around the guy, but obviously it wasn't even close to going in. So I don't know. I think we've had these spurts of like the Rams having bad kicking games and having misses before in that kicker carousel. But I can't say I've thought about special teams more than I have this season, particularly when it comes to blocking kicks. I don't remember the last time or any time in my life for every kick being like, this could be blocked. Like I have a pretty strong feeling this is going to get blocked. And that's not a fun feeling. I hope they can figure it out and get it figured out because obviously it could come back to bite them.
Well, think of it. We've just spent like 12 minutes talking about the Rams field goal unit.
This is a therapy session.
I know, right? But it's going into a Rams versus Niners, game. That's where we are. That's what we're doing.
As much as like you'd love to see the Rams blow out the Niners, I think it would be really cool to see the Rams end the game on a walk-off 50-yard field goal made, just to get like positive vibes about this kicking game. And maybe that helps to just like lead them into like a really good spot. But I want to get to a point where it's like special teams makes a big play and the thing kind of starts to turn around.
Yeah. I would love it if, picture this. Are you picturing it?
I am.
Okay, get ready. So there's 2 seconds left in the game. Rams have to kick a 53-yard field goal to win it.
Mm-hmm.
Joshua Karty about to kick it. Kyle Shanahan ices him with a timeout. Let him I want to see Joshua Karty have ice in his veins.
Yeah.
Feel all the pressure. And we know the Niners, faithful are going to show up at home. And then come out of the timeout and drill it right down the middle.
No question.
No question. Like I would love if that's how the Rams win. I would love that. I would love that so much.
Because it's crazy. It feels like it's been forever. Do you remember last year against the 49ers in week 2, I think it was, when Karty drilled the kick to win the game against the 49ers?
Yeah.
It wasn't a walk-off. Yeah, it wasn't a walk-off, but it was like the kick to put them up ahead, and then the Rams defense got a stop. So, like, we've seen him do it. He's been clutch in other moments. I just don't think you can blame everything on him this year.
100%. Yeah, there's lots of blame to go around. Speaking of blame, I blame you, Rams House, because
What?
you have assembled a bunch of hot takes for over Rams action segment. There's a segue for you.
That's beautiful.
But you haven't shared them with me yet. So can you
I haven't.
figure that out?
Let's get it going. We just got to execute better above the neck.
Yeah.
Get back into this. So, beautiful segue by Peo Time. We're going to be getting into our over Rams action Wednesday. If this is a guy's first time here watching, over Rams action Wednesday is a spinoff of what Rich Eisen and Chris Brockman do on Monday for Overreaction Monday. It's basically potential hot takes pitched to Peo Time and to you guys in the chat, except they're all focused on the Rams. After I pitch it, you guys are going to react if it's a hot take or an over Rams action, or if it's fair. So, starting off with number one here, we're going to be facing a very good tight end in George Kittle.
Yeah.
He's been back the last few weeks, but he hasn't had over 42 yards since coming back.
Really?
So, in saying that, Terrence Ferguson will have more yards than George Kittle in this game. For reference, Terrence Ferguson last week had over 50 receiving yards. What say you guys?
Wow. Okay, that's an interesting stat about George Kittle. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this is not an over Rams action. I think Terrence Ferguson has gotten better the past two games.
Yeah.
And you saw him on Rams Revealed this week. That dude looks like he's ready to be a force. And I could see this being the Terrence Ferguson breakout game.
Yeah. And I'm like, we just keep seeing him get used more and more in this offense.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see it. And I think a lot of the times that Ferguson gets a catch, like what's been the shortest Terrence Ferguson catch with the Rams? Like they're always, I feel like, over 10 yards.
Yeah.
They always,
the first one was 16, right?
Against the 49ers. Yeah. And then you think about that deep one against the Jaguars in London for the touchdown. You think about the corner out last week against the Saints. And so, like, he's a high volume, like, in terms of when he gets the catch, it's usually an explosive.
Yeah. Yeah. Sheriff in the house. Shout out Sheriff Joe Bags. Thanks for popping on in. Yeah. He's saying Kittle has 100 on the season. Ferg hit over 50 last week and is getting more and more involved. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. Especially with that 13 personnel. So, I mean, it may sound like a hot take, especially for 49ers fans, but if you really look at it, like, just purely looking at numbers, Ferguson has been outperforming Kittle since he came back, but he's also just kind of getting worked back into the offense. Kittle is after the injury. So,
and just one more thing about Terrence Ferguson. It's funny because Ram fans, we're so hyped. We're like, oh yeah, he was second round draft pick. Like we're pumped about him, hearing about him in the offseason, things like that. I know so many like above average NFL fans who are like, who's Terrence Ferguson?
Yeah.
They don't care. They don't know. Right. And so I would love Terrence Ferguson to have his breakout performance versus the 49ers.
Me too. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I think a good point by Rams Mob here. He says, I don't know. To me, it sounds like an over Rams action. Kittle always seems to play well against the Rams.
That's fair.
Which is very fair. Yeah. Kittle does play very well against the Rams. And I definitely expect him to be heavily involved another game after his injury coming back. So I think you could go either way on this one. When you're just looking at pure yards, though, like I think Ferguson has a chance. He gets some explosives, so we'll see. Also, Muad'Dib says, "Go four personnel, 3 tight ends, and Jared Verse." That would be hilarious. I'd love that. Like Jared Verse would be running with the football, smack talking as he's running.
I would love that. I would love that so much.
All right, number 2. Keeping it with the in-division theme here, we know the Seahawks just absolutely obliterated the Commanders last week, and they've just been looking so good. We're going to see them in 2 weeks. And so I have a take here. The Rams and the Seahawks will combine for 25 or more wins this season by the end of the year.
Ooh. Okay, I have to think about this. So right now they're both 6-2. So they have 12 wins combined right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying one team would be at least 13 wins and one team would be at least 12 wins. Maybe both teams would be 13-4.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I don't think that's an over Rams action. And I'll admit to pretty much the entire offseason, I was not buying what the Seahawks were selling. I thought they were going to be way worse than they were last year. Because I was the guy that was like, they were a 10-win team last year with Geno Smith. Like they could have won the division if a few more wins go their way. But then, boy, was I wrong. Moving off Geno Smith apparently was totally the right thing to do, and like moving off Metcalf, getting Jackson Smith and Jigba doing his thing. The Seahawks they're a good team. They're a good team.
Mm-hmm.
And not to the Rams are a good team too. I like what the Rams are doing. And I don't think that's an over Rams action for both the Rams and Seahawks to go for over 25 wins combined. That's yeah.
And I mean, to be fair, like both these teams are going to be kind of beating up on each other because either the Rams give the Seahawks 2 losses or they split. Like they could both be getting losses from each other. But like really outside of this division, I think that the Seahawks and the Rams can like beat up on some NFC teams. And like that's just how good they are. So Sheriff Joe says, I can see it. Cindo says another decent take. So people are buying into this. Seahawks definitely have been very good this year. And I can see it happening. I mean, to have 2 teams get 12 and 13 wins is incredible. Like that's crazy, especially in the same division. But we saw that in the NFC North last year with more than those wins. So we'll see how this plays out here. But Seahawks, I'm not going to say it too loud because I know we got some 49ers fans in the chat here, but I do think that they're a better team than the 49ers. And so I think these 2 teams are definitely going to be battling it out. But obviously 49ers have that easy schedule, so we'll see. All right, number 3, we did hear this week. It was either Kyler Murray got benched or he was hurt. And so that's just kind of been the reason why Jacoby Brissett is going to be playing moving forward. So here's one for you. Xavier Smith will have more receiving touchdowns by the end of the year than Kyler Murray has games started with the Cardinals.
I was wondering where you're going with this. Oh man! Of course we had to do something about throwing shade at the Cardinals and Kyler Murray, which I'm totally convinced him going to IR is his agent helping him save face. I'm of the mindset of this was a soft benching, right? Like
yes, I'm with you.
But to answer your question, Xavier Smith will have more receiving touchdowns. So him getting 1 would be like it's not out of the question for Xavier Smith not to get any receiving touchdowns by the end of the year. Him getting 1, I don't think Kyler Murray will start another game for the Cardinals. Like I think the Kyler Murray era is done in the desert. I see Sheriff Joe. He thinks he's thinking Murray comes back, and me and Johnny, we're on the same page. Kyler's benched. He's out for at least 4 more weeks. That takes us to week 14.
Mm-hmm.
And if the Cardinals fall out of the division race, why would they? Because if he gets injured, that makes him less tradable, right? Like I think they want to protect him as a kind of tradable commodity now, right? So I don't think Kyler Murray plays another game for the Cardinals. So I'm going to say Xavier Smith. That's not an over Rams action. I had to talk it out, but I'm there.
Yeah. That's great. You could really go either way on this one. Yeah. Sheriff Joe Bag says Murray era is done after this year, but we will see him back at some point this season.
I disagree.
I feel like you have to admit the offense for the Cardinals has looked so much better with Brissett in there. Not just the game that they just played against the Cowboys, but even against the Packers. Like you can see a difference. And the offense runs better with Kyler or without Kyler Murray in there, which is crazy because they paid him to do that. But I don't know, man. I really think you could go either way with this one. I think if we see Kyler start a game for the Cardinals, it would be more out of Brissett gets injured and Kyler has to go in which would be a very interesting storyline, but definitely going to be something to keep track of.
Yeah. I will give a quick shout out. John Jay, good to see you.
What's up, John Jay?
Good 49ers content creator, one of the good ones. But yeah, appreciate you popping on in. I know you work like crazy, man.
Yeah. That's a classic content creator right there.
Yeah.
All right. Number 4. I have to preface this one because I asked one of my brothers to come up with this one, just to somebody who's not a Rams fan to come up with a take here. So see what you guys think of this one. Number 4, Tyler Higbee will have more touchdowns for the Rams than Puka Nacua has by the end of the year. Right now, Tyler Higbee is only 1 touchdown behind Puka Nacua, and we've known Puka to be a guy who puts up more yards and catches and all those kinds of stats than he does touchdowns. But Higbee, especially with this 13 personnel, with red zone involvement, and Devontae Adams getting touchdowns, will it be an over-Rams action to say Higbee has more touchdowns than Puka Nacua?
I'm going to say yeah. Yeah, I think that's an over-Rams action. I just think that Puka, as long as he's on the field, is always consistently part of this, Rams offense. Tyler Higbee, it's very much game to game, whether he's, he's in the red zone, and especially because I just feel like Devontae Adams is more of a red zone threat than Higbee is right now. So I'm going to say that's an over-Rams action there, but that's a good one.
Honestly, I could see it going either way, but I don't think it's an over-Rams action to say Higbee has more touchdowns than Puka by the end of the year, just because, like Sheriff Joe Bag says, Puka isn't really a touchdown guy. We have seen him get more touchdowns recently with the Rams, but for whatever reason, he's never been a guy to get a lot of those. And even earlier in the year, I can't remember exactly what the week was, but earlier in the year, Puka Nacua tied Van Jefferson for career Ram touchdowns. And that was surprising to me. We know how good Puka's been, and he obviously hasn't spent as much time with the Rams as Van Jefferson did. But Van Jefferson never got a second contract with the Rams, and Puka just tied that touchdown thing. And he's used so much. So I think that's just kind of interesting when you look at it that way.
Well, and I think touchdowns for Puka will come in spurts, right? Maybe he's not getting it now, but I could see another game, another 3 weeks where he catches a touchdown every game in a row, right? I don't think it's totally crazy, but yeah, I could see the different perspective.
Yeah. Wow. Sheriff Joe Bag says Adams has 3 less touchdowns as a Ram than Puka does right now, and I think he means all time with the Rams, which is crazy. But I mean, Adams is just eating up touchdowns right now in the red zone. So
but he was signed for that, right?
He was
when the Rams signed Devontae Adams, it was with the mindset of this is to improve the red zone efficiency, and that's especially the past couple of games. That's what we've been seeing.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are saying the Rams are just realizing to use him down there. But if you've been a Rams fan watching the games all year, you saw even early on, they really wanted to get those red zone touchdowns with Adams and Stafford. There were 2 missed in the Ravens game. You had 1 missed in the Eagles game. You had 3 missed against the Titans. They were going through his hands or a miss throw, whatever. Now things are starting to click, and now that connection is really being established where we're seeing kind of the fruits of what they're trying to sow into that. So I think that's definitely exciting to see that be rewarded a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Number 5 here. Matthew Stafford has been on an absolute tear.
Yeah.
I've been loving watching Matthew Stafford this year. It's been such a blast. Matthew Stafford's career high touchdowns for the Rams in the regular season is 41. I'm saying Matthew Stafford is breaking his Ram career touchdown in this season by the end of the year. He's going to have more than 41 touchdowns. He's at 21 right now at this point in the season. I say he breaks 41.
Thinking about it, marinating with it. This isn't an over Rams action, and it starts on Sunday when Stafford can win against the Niners and get to a career 500 as a quarterback, or essentially erasing his dark season in Detroit,
which is incredibly impressive.
Very much so. But all joking aside, Stafford played so well that 2021 season. One of the it was statistically the best season by a Rams quarterback. It was phenomenal. I think this season he's on another level, which is crazy to think for a 37-year-old quarterback. But he's playing better than he's ever played at any point in his career. And it's not just like that the Rams are winning and Stafford's putting up, a lot like good numbers and things like that. If you look at it, Stafford is like opening up his tool belt of throws, and like you're seeing sidearms, you're seeing no look passes, you're seeing deep balls, you're seeing the check down when needed. You're like literally the entire playbook is at this guy's right hand, right? And he's tearing apart defenses left and right like it's going out of style, and I love it.
Yeah. And McVay, there's been two things that McVay has constantly said this year about Matthew Stafford that has impressed him. And they really stand out to me. Like he said, first, you can't say that many offenses teams have their offense built around their quarterback. And that's what they have for Matthew Stafford. Like the offense goes through him and they build the entire thing on him and what he can do and how much he can do. But another thing he's talking about so much this year is that Stafford really has barely had any turnover worthy plays this season.
Yeah.
He's barely had any turnovers in general, but we've seen in years past, as good as Stafford has been, even in that Super Bowl year, he led the league in interceptions with 17. This year he's got 2 right now. But like you're barely like, I feel like Rams fans used to see at least like one throw a game where you're like, oh, Stafford, that was like right into the hands of the DB, but they dropped it. Or why'd you force it into that window? Like that kind of stuff. This year, he's playing smartly aggressive, is the way I would put it. Like, he's playing smart football, but he's also doing no looks 20 yards down the field. He's just playing incredibly smart, and he's not even putting the ball in harm's way while he's having incredible production. So I definitely think that it's not an over Rams action. Stafford is playing, I'd even argue, better than he did in the Super Bowl year. Just, this is probably his best year on his career, I would make. So yeah, I'm excited to keep watching Matthew Stafford sling the ball for the Rams.
We'll treasure it always.
Yeah, definitely. Especially the dark St. Louis years we had.
Yeah.
A long period without a guy like Stafford.
I still sometimes like laugh when I used to think like after the Austin Davis like spin touchdown, everyone if you know, you know.
Yeah.
I remember thinking like this is our quarterback of the future.
Yeah.
Who like I never saw Sam Bradford do that.
Yeah,
like,
he's got moxie. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, it looks like though everybody in the chat is agreeing. We got Sheriff Joe Bag saying Stafford for 50.
Let's go.
Rams country 46. Not an over Rams action. Everybody's on the same page with this one.
Yeah.
So definitely, man, we're so blessed to have a top coach and a top quarterback right now on top of everything else as Rams fans.
And I'm pretty sure the majority of people watching right now are all part of the Stafford for MVP committee. And it's when we say all in favor, everyone goes aye, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't even have to think about it.
Stafford for MVP motioned.
Yeah.
Aye. Second carried. Motion passed. Okay.
Yeah, but that's gonna do it for my over Rams action Wednesday segment. I'm gonna kick it off to you in the what's more likely, but it's just the Rams.
Okay, I got some juicy ones here for you. So again, everyone, thanks for hanging in with us, watching live. Appreciate you. Feel free to like and subscribe to both our channels if you love Rams content, because that's what we do. That's what we do. We provide the world with Rams content from Rams bias perspective. If that's what you're looking for,
we're the guys for you.
Oh, pardon me. Okay, so we are going to play a game called What's More Likely, but it's just the Rams. I'll give 2 options, and you guys in the chat and Rams House here will have to decide which option is more likely to happen. Okay. So the first one here, this is pretty low-hanging fruit. The Rams have a new kicker and long snapper. What's more likely? The Rams have a new kicker and long snapper next game, or we see no change in personnel at all.
That's a tough one.
Part of the spelling of personnel.
Yeah. I think that I do think that we see a change at long snapper, but I don't think we see a change at kicker.
Okay.
No change in personnel. I do think we see a change. I just don't think that we see a new kicker and long snapper. But I have to pick one. So, oh man, that's hard.
Country's saying no change.
Yeah, I'll say if I had to pick one, I would say no change. Even though I think we'll see some change, I just don't think Karty's going to be the one changed out. But I would say changing both if I had to pick one.
Okay. Willie's saying change it up, facelift it. Yep.
Honestly,
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know why I can't shake the feeling like I don't think Karty's really the main issue. I do think he can be a good kicker like we saw last year. I just think some things need to be fixed.
Yep. Got no change. Yep. Put Karty on the line for a tone pin.
Wow. That's incredible.
That's savage. Okay. What's more likely? We just talked recently about Matthew Stafford. What's more likely? Stafford throws for 4 touchdowns versus the Niners, or Jared Verse has 4 sacks?
I'm going to go Matthew Stafford 4 touchdowns. That's just been what he's doing recently. And Jared Verse is incredible. And we saw him have some incredible wins against Trent Williams last time. But I also have to acknowledge like Trent Williams is still like a future Hall of Fame player.
Yeah.
If he would, I guess the Rams could move him around, but if I'm just strictly thinking about the matchup of him on Williams, I don't see Williams giving up 4 sacks. Besides it 4 Rams touchdowns from Matthew Stafford.
I just feel like this Niners O-line, they're held together by duct tape right now. And the Rams D-line, that favors them a lot. Yeah. Maybe it's a little facetious to think Jared Verse will have 4 sacks, but I think the Rams D-line as a whole is going to have a really fun game. Let me put it politely like that. But yeah, I would tend to agree Stafford for 4 touchdowns, but some people are saying he might get 4 sacks.
Yeah, I think this is a good take by Sheriff Joe Bags right here. Yeah. And I'm in alignment with it, where it's like the 49ers get rid of the ball so quickly, and they have for so many years in a row. Like, you would have to win your matchup in like a second or two, and he would have to do that 4 times. So I'd say it's more likely for Stafford.
I like this. I'd be okay with if Stafford wants to break the NFL record for for touchdown passes in the game. I'm okay with that.
You know, honestly, that's not a bad idea. Let's have that happen. That would cement the MVP.
Oh, he's just kidding. He put JK. Oh, okay.
No, we need to see it.
Stick to the take. No,
yeah.
Love it. Okay, what's more likely? Rams and Niners go to overtime again, or Rams win by 10 or more, by more than 10 points.
That's a good one, because I'm like, this is probably Rams bias, but as time goes on, I'm thinking like my initial score prediction is Rams win 28-24. But as time goes on, I'm like, I could see this Rams team actually winning by more than that. But just given the fact it's divisional and these 2 teams know each other, these 2 coaches know each other incredibly well, despite how good the Rams have been playing recently, I think it'd be more likely they go into overtime again and we have a stressful game. Hopefully the Rams would just come out on top, though.
Okay, yeah. I'm curious. A lot of people are saying 10 points. In your prediction video, 10 points. Okay, cool. I'll have to check that out. Rams 31-21. Well, that's more than 10 points. More than 10 points. Rams more than 10 points. Yep, one previous. Okay, I like that.
See, I want to go that. Like, that's what I'm feeling in my heart, but I can't tell how much of that is just like Rams bias and just like having belief in this team. I do think it can happen, but divisional games are so strange. I'm trying to think of the last time that the Rams completely blew out the 49ers. And I'm thinking back to that. Do you remember against the 49ers when Aaron Donald just ripped the ball out of the 49ers guy's hands and he lifted up like this after having it? That was like 2017 or 2018.
Yeah.
That's the last time I remember the Rams like winning by that many points.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see, because these games always feel close no matter what the rosters are. Well, unless 49ers have blown out the Rams a few times in recent years, but
okay, going to the results here. Yeah, it's been a hot minute. Yeah, when the Rams beat the 49ers, always been close for the recent years. 2022, there's a playoff win. 2018, the 48-32. That was kind of a blowout, but like high scoring still. It would have been the 2018 season. Rams won 39-10.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't happen much. I think we usually see the 49ers beat the Rams by a lot of points, more than the Rams beating them by a lot of points. But again, I can really see it. I can see the Rams winning by 10 or more points in this game, and I'm kind of feeling that. But being this divisional, I would err on the conservative side and say it's more likely they go into overtime.
Yeah. Well, and okay, if your bosses are all Niners fans, okay, we need the win here for like we don't need an HR nightmare in this man's workplace.
Muad'Dib would resign by the end of the day. That's the Rams loss. He's like, I don't want to face them.
Yeah, Muad'Dib would maybe take a couple sick days.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, quit your job. Yeah. Okay, got a couple more here for you. What's more likely? George Kittle is held under 100 yards in the game. I know you just brought up a really good stat about him earlier. Or Mac Jones rushes for a touchdown.
I say Mac Jones rushes for a touchdown.
Yeah.
He rushes more than I would expect. I guess Kittle does do well against the Rams, but the optimistic part of me says that the Rams aren't going to let him go for 100 yards. So
yeah,
that's a good one though. Because if you think about it, all Mac Jones would need to do is have like a sneak touchdown. Like they could be on the one and do that. So what do you think?
I think the way that they're using, like, their CMC is such a good running back, and we haven't really talked about him much today. But I do think that, like, when it comes to like these short yardage situations, they like to protect CMC now at this point in his career. And especially, like, I find CMC in this year specifically, from what I've seen, and I'll admit I haven't watched a ton of Niners, but from what I've seen from like the fantasy highlights and stuff like that, he does his best work rushing to the outsides, right? And I just think that if there's a short yardage situation, they'd be more content having Mac Jones just sneak it, right?
Yeah. That's going to be definitely a fun one to see. I think that Sheriff Joe Baggs brings up a great point. He says, sorry.
We're fighting.
We're fighting over it. He says, Q Lake has been incredible in coverage, Kittle under 100 yards. And I think that's a good point because, like, a lot of my game previews, when we head into a game where we're playing a really good tight end, I bring up the fact that, like, the Rams struggle against tight ends. But I think that's becoming a little bit more of a casual take. I think in years past, the Rams have really struggled with tight ends. But this year, I don't really think you can look to a performance where a tight end just completely dominated. Like you had Tyler Warren have that weird rushing touchdown against the Rams. He had like a couple explosive plays. You saw Goddard have a touchdown against the Rams. But like overall, the Rams haven't struggled against tight ends as much as people may think. So I'd love to see Kittle under 100 yards personally.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, one more for you here. All right. Okay. Yeah. Stretch out. What's more likely? So, context: the Rams have 3 games this season scoring over 30 points. In 2018 and in 1999, Rams had 12 games in total in each of those seasons over 30 points.
Wow.
What's more likely? The Rams score over 30 points in every game rest of season to get to 12 games on the season, or the Rams break their franchise record and get over 57 sacks.
That is insane. How many are they at right now? Do you know?
Wait, I did look this up. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Last game they only had 1 sack against the Saints with Braden Fisk, so that could hurt their numbers a little bit.
Sorry, I literally had it here in 20. Oh, sorry, sacks. 2020.
I'm just gonna talk as you look at this.
Yeah. You had we're at 27 sacks. Yeah,
we're at 20. We're at 27 right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I do think it's more likely that we see the sacks than the points. I think it's both of a combination of how good the Rams pass rush is and some big games they could have, but also a combination of, I think the Rams are going to play some really good defenses down the stretch, and we have a lot of divisional games to play, and especially against the Seahawks, I don't see the Rams putting up 30 points twice or more. Again, like their defense is so good, and so I would see the Rams more around like 24 points. So I would say sacks is more likely to break the sack record, which would be insane.
Yeah, that's probably more likely, but it'd be fun to see the Rams go on a tear on offense. And
wouldn't it?
I definitely think Stafford would secure that MVP if they're putting over 30 points per game.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be crazy. And then going to the playoffs and continue, that would be crazy.
Well, because you think of it like that 1999 season, Warner won MVP, right? 2018, Todd Gurley won Offensive Player of the Year that year, and probably should have won MVP. But yeah, it's crazy. I see a lot of people are saying the sacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't disagree with that. I mean, their pass rush is incredible.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing this to other groups.
Wow.
That's cool, Strikers.
Yeah, thank you so much, man.
That's tubular.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys definitely make the show what it is. These comments and interacting and these kinds of segments in particular makes it so much more fun to get to your guys' feet. Because like I could be so convinced in one direction of what I think, and then somebody brings up a point in the comments. I'm like, I didn't think about that. So you guys add so much value.
Absolutely. Well, that is my segment of what's more likely, but it's just the Rams there. Thanks to everyone for playing along. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, we are coming to the end of our time here, but before we end the show, let's ask the question, Rams house, Rams versus 49ers, what do you feel this game's vibe is going to be?
That's a good question. Like I said, my score prediction for this game is 28-24. I really never get score predictions right, so take that for what it is. But I'm feeling recently like the Rams may win by more points and make a bigger statement, even though it's divisional. So I'm kind of thinking a little bit of a higher scoring game, but I don't know. I can't shake the feeling like the Rams could make a statement in this game, and that could be optimistic side of me. But I think we see some points scored. I think we see some good plays from both sides. And I did say in my video this week, I have a weird feeling that whether it's the 49ers, whether it's the Rams, we're either going to see a kick return, a punt return, or like a interception return, like a weird unconventional score. I kind of feel this week. So we'll see what happens.
Sheriff Joe's saying put the league on notice. That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Hey, I'm down.
I'm prepared, and I'll get excited for any outcome, especially when the Rams win.
Yeah.
And again, I'm often wrong with my vibe check predictions, but I'm vibing. It's going to be a lower scoring game here. I think we get, it is going to be a field goal win, and I would love it if Joshua Karty could get that, confidence boosting, like a big kick for the win, right?
Yeah. I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love that. That would be so awesome to see kind of a repeat of what we saw last year against them, but Rams just got to win this game. Get in, get out. Last year, what did the Rams win? It was like 9-6 or 12-9, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
In that weird rain game. So, all the wins count the same. We want to see a bunch of points, but I just want to see them get out with the win for sure.
I'm curious, what's the weather? Because weather is a factor in Santa Clara.
I'm going to bet it's like 70, maybe 80 degrees.
I'm looking at
good football weather.
Okay, wait. Oh, wait. I got to click the Fahrenheit because I'm Canadian.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, weird like that. So they're saying it's going to be around 75 degrees Fahrenheit.
Mm-hmm.
And wind, not like barely any wind, 10% chance of rain.
Okay, so glad it's not going to be a weird weather game.
Yes, says mostly cloudy. So, okay.
Not bad.
That sounds like a lovely day for football.
It does. Yeah, hopefully we just escape with the win. I do think it's going to be close, but I also think there's a chance the Rams can make a statement. So something has to give here for sure.
Perfect weather to smash the Niners.
Yeah, love it.
Well, Rams, you got any videos coming out later this week?
Yeah, it should just be, to my knowledge, probably we'll have the over Rams action clipped out tomorrow and posted for those who didn't catch it live, and then doing my post game reaction, hopefully to a Rams win on Sunday. So that should be what you should look forward to this week. How about you?
Yeah, unless some sort of news happens, I probably won't have anything until my Rams versus 49ers watch party.
Okay.
And I'll be in yet another different hotel room doing it. But having a good time doing it. And I would love to see you all there. And then I'll have my before and after reaction video after each game, which those have been a lot of fun. Those have been cool. Thanks everyone who's watched those.
Speaking of cool, before we really get out of here, we are big into this question, so I want to address it. The most important question: what is the uni combo? Please, no white on blue. So for this game, the Rams are going to be wearing their white tops, so it's really a matter of what pants are they going to pick.
Yeah,
I say the Rams are going to be wearing their royal blue pants, and that's what you say too, from what I remember.
Yep.
And a fun little stat here. I look back to see every game played in the 49ers stadium since the Rams rebranded, and they've never worn any other paint color other than the royal blue. I'm going royal blue.
That is so crazy.
It is crazy. But I don't know what it is. They could switch it up this week. But yeah, we got our pants picks.
Yeah, if you guys want the full pants pick segment, make sure you go check out Rams Showcase. Go bags.
That's like the best game in the world.
Yeah, pants pick, sweeping the nation.
Oh yeah, tell your friends to join in. Sportsaholic says white and yellow, so he's going with Sheriff Joe bags here. I'm sticking with the white on blue, but maybe with how much I'm pushing it, they're gonna just pick yellow. I don't know. Yep. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for this show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in every week, engaging in the comments, and just talking Rams with us. I always appreciate it, and you guys make this show what it is. Just appreciate all your support. So that's gonna do it for us. You're gonna see both Peo and I hopefully after a Rams victory this week. So
and we'll be back next Wednesday for another First Down Rams.
Oh yeah, let's go. Have a great day.
Thank you very